I'm so excited to have Paige, who is like my own family now, come and spend the afternoon with me this afternoon. Paige runs and is the founder of the Africa Yoga Project. And yoga has always been something that we've always associated with being very elite, and only very few people can actually practice. But Paige has brought yoga to Africa, and not just to Africa, but to the local communities. And so she's a real inspiration for me. I'm very humbled to sit on her board. And she's just somebody I spend a lot of time with. She comes and kicks my butt quite often to make me do yoga. But Paige, welcome.
Thank you. It's such a pleasure to be here.
I can't believe it's almost 10 years since you actually started AYP.
Yeah, time flies.
It's amazing. So how did you, just for people that don't know, how did you actually think about bringing yoga to Africa?
So my dad took me on a safari. My first exposure to Kenya was here as a tourist in 2006. Mm-hmm. And as I was on a game drive, I saw like monkeys and lions, and we were in Amboseli National Park, and all of a sudden on the game drive, I saw some guys doing handstands. And I was like, I want to go out and do a handstand. I come from the background of being a yoga teacher, and I really love going upside down. And I jumped out of my safari vehicle and did a handstand with these guys, to my father's dismay at the time. And that connection, that meeting, turned into me coming back to Kenya to volunteer with that group of acrobats in Kibera. And I was teaching yoga to many kids in the informal settlements, and people were really engaged with it and loved it. But as I was talking to people more, I realized what people really were yearning for was a sense of purpose and also economic stability and economic opportunity. Mm-hmm. And at the same time as I was hearing that from the young people I was teaching in the informal settlements, I was finding lots of jobs to teach yoga in Kenya. And so that's when Africa Yoga Project started. I decided instead of just teaching yoga to people that couldn't afford it, I would train people to be yoga teachers. That way they could reach out to their own communities and also experience economic opportunity and freedom.
Wow, and how many teachers have gone through the program?
Yeah, we're just about up to 300 teachers that have gone through our program. And we have teachers in 15 different countries in Africa now. Wow. And we reach about 11,000 people a week with free yoga.
God, that's amazing. And I know, in various times that we've talked, we've talked about yoga as a peacekeeping initiative, as well as in the prisons, and you do so many different things. Maybe just take us through the various different programs that you have.
Yeah, you're right. We have so many different programs because yoga really works for so many different types of people. Yoga really it's not a religion, and it's not something, I was actually surprised in Kenya, a lot of people thought yoga was devil worship.
Demonic.
But yoga really is a science, and it's a practice of staying healthy inside and outside. And so everyone needs those skills of being able to regulate their emotions and stay in good physical health and well-being. So we bring that into prisons, we bring that into schools, into orphanages, we bring it into the United Nations gym. And most recently, the work that's been really exciting me is using yoga for survivors of gender-based violence. Yeah. And using it with women and children as a way to have them love their bodies again, have them feel safe in their own bodies again, and be able to find their own voice in their body.
Wow, that's amazing. And I know, some of the really exciting work that you're doing is yoga in Mogadishu. And I've been following that program. Tell us about that a little bit.
Yeah. So this past year, we've had an opportunity to work with UNICEF and some implementing partners in Mogadishu to train peer educators that are already working with youth at risk or youth that were involved in the war, or women and children that are affected by gender-based violence, and teaching those peer educators and those counselors how to use mind-body trauma education as a way to help the people they're counseling. And we're working with an amazing organization called ELMAN, which has the first rape crisis center in Mogadishu, and they're bringing yoga everywhere. Wow. And I'm so proud of them.
That's amazing. And Sierra Leone, you've got the soldiers, right, that turned yoga teachers.
Yeah, we have quite a number of young people that have started a yoga studio in Sierra Leone, and they're all former child combatants that have used yoga themselves to deal with some of the trauma. And also, what's so interesting, even during the Ebola crisis, because people weren't actually allowed to touch each other, they had radio shows that were bringing yoga into people's houses at a time when everyone was so stressed out and disconnected.
Yeah. Definitely needed yoga then. I love yoga. I love waking up to being able to practice. And are you finding that more and more Kenyans are becoming like health conscious, and that is it something that you're seeing an increased demand?
Yeah, I think it's kind of an unfortunate increase because by 2020, chronic disease will be the #1 killer in Africa. And a lot of our focus of development agencies is on AIDS and tuberculosis and providing mosquito nets, and all of that is important and has been important. But chronic disease is what's going to actually end most lives in Africa in just a few years. And the ways to combat chronic disease are having a good diet, sleeping, and exercising. And so I think more and more Kenyans and Africans in general are going to start looking for ways that they can keep themselves healthy and put a value on that. And that's why I think yoga will be more and more valued in society.
And the fact that, I mean, people in sort of informal sectors are able to do yoga, I mean, that's just incredible. Because before, you know, they'd play football or, you know, that was the extent of exercise that kids could do, right? And now there's yoga.
Yeah, and I think one thing that most people know about yoga is like, oh, it's all about peace and unity and, you know, heal the world. And I just found it so concerning that we weren't actually bringing yoga to everyone. If it's really for everyone and really about peace and unity, it should be available to everyone regardless of economic circumstance. So that's really the mission of our project.
And that's so exciting that you've been able to do that, though. It's just amazing. I'm so proud of you, Paige. You're just amazing. And I know we talked, the last time we talked, you just come back from winning this incredible award. So tell us a little bit about your award, because I'm so proud of you.
Well, thank you so much. I just won the Muhammad Ali Humanitarian Award for Global Citizenship.
Wow.
And I had the opportunity to go to Louisville. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. I got corrected my whole time there. And I just feel like I was in the company of giants, kind of how I feel talking to you. And I'm proud to stand on the shoulders of people like Muhammad Ali and you and other people that are using sports for development.
That's amazing. I mean, that's an absolutely huge award. And I'm so excited that they saw it fit to give it to you, because you've just enabled so many more people than, you know, would normally practice yoga. I mean, when would a guy in Kibera or in Kangemi practice yoga? So I think it's well deserved. That's really, really, really exciting. And Paige, where do you see AYP going in the next 2 years? If you had a crystal ball, what could you predict?
Yeah, well, my goal in the next 5 years is to have at least 2 yoga teachers that are in every country in Africa, and to train 100,000 yoga teachers. So that is going to require a lot of resources, considering we're at 300 right now. But we think that we can do it, and we know that without teachers, there can't be students. So my focus is on training as many teachers as possible in as many countries as possible.